Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the wild, unpredictable, and yes, sometimes absolutely terrifying world of the planet's most dangerous creatures. We share our world with an unbelievable array of wildlife, right? Everything from massive, apex marine predators down to completely microscopic organisms. And just to survive, these animals have evolved some of the most complex, lethal, and frankly awe-inspiring biological weapons known to science. We're going to break down what exactly makes these organisms so dangerous, how they hunt or defend themselves, and what their vital ecological roles actually are. So strap in, because nature's arsenal is truly wild.
Okay, let's jump right into this. Take a look at a question that recently pulled in nearly 100,000 votes in an Animal Planet community poll. What is the world's most venomous spider? Just seeing that question up there is enough to trigger a primal sense of tension, isn't it? As humans, we've got this deep-seated evolutionary respect and, let's be honest, usually fear for the multi-legged creatures lurking in the shadows. But to really understand these animals, we have to look past that fear and examine the actual biological hardware they're bringing to the table.
Chapter 1. Nature's Most Lethal Encounters. We're going to start things off on solid ground, looking closely at the terrestrial predators that have commanded our respect and fueled our nightmares for centuries. Here are the legendary candidates from that poll for the title of the world's most venomous spider. We're talking about the Australian outback, Brazilian jungles, and the warm climates of North America. We've got the black widow, the Brazilian wandering spider, the Australian funnel web, and the reckless spider. Every single one of these arachnids packs a uniquely potent chemical cocktail. Depending on the species, their bites can cause everything from severe tissue damage to full-on neurological paralysis. But here's the thing. While their reputations are genuinely terrifying, their biological weapons were not actually designed with humans in mind at all.
And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates the core truth we really need to nail down today. There is a massive difference between these sensationalized myths we hear and the scientific reality of animal behavior. The myth is that these predators attack us out of sheer malice or some desire to hunt us. But the scientific fact? Attacks on humans are overwhelmingly defensive or territorial. When a Brazilian wandering spider or a venomous snake strikes, it's usually just a desperate measure by an animal that feels threatened, cornered, or simply trying to protect its home from a giant, blundering mammal, which is us.
Section 2. Fangs, Venom, and Stings.
Understanding that defensive instinct perfectly sets up our next phase. We're moving out of the quiet corners where spiders hide and right into the highly active, buzzing, and intense world of insect encounters. To really grasp the immediate, visceral danger of terrestrial bugs, we can look at the extreme wildlife encounters documented by Coyote Peterson on Brave Wilderness. He's purposefully subjected himself to some of the most agonizing insect encounters imaginable, purely to educate the public. We're talking about surviving a terrifying swarm of 200 angry yellowjackets and enduring the absolutely excruciating rituals of the murder hornet. These encounters highlight just how highly evolved and effective an insect's defensive sting can be when their hive or territory is breached. It's immediate, it's painful, and it serves as a highly effective biological deterrent.
But what exactly makes these encounters so incredibly dangerous? Well, it all comes down to venom. Venom is a toxic substance secreted by animals, used primarily as a biological tool for hunting prey or defending against threats. It is so important to view venom not as some villainous, evil trait, but as an absolute evolutionary marvel. It takes immense biological energy for an animal to produce venom, which is exactly why they prefer not to waste it on humans unless it's absolutely necessary for their own survival.
Chapter 3. Deadly Seas and Deep Mysteries.
Let's shift gears and see how this builds into an entirely different ecosystem as we leave dry land behind and plunge into the dark, hidden, high-pressure dangers of the ocean. Down here, survival requires some truly mind-bending adaptations. Take a look at this incredible scientific phenomenon, the phononic shield. According to Live Science, the peacock mantis shrimp is the animal kingdom's most powerful puncher. But to keep its own bright green clubs from literally shattering on impact, it generates this crazy shock-absorbing biological mechanism. It's a stunning display of blunt physical force and biological engineering, proving that marine creatures pack some of the most advanced physical arsenals on Earth.
But hey, not all marine danger relies on physical force, right? Contrast the mantis shrimp's devastating punch with the silent, creeping lethality of marine invertebrates. The blue-ringed octopus is breathtakingly beautiful, yet its venom is incredibly deadly. And, recently, scientists discovered a highly venomous, newly identified species of box jellyfish near Singapore in an area ominously dubbed the Island of Death Behind. These creatures don't need to overpower you with size. Literally, a single quiet brush against their tentacles or a tiny bite can be fatal. As we dive even deeper, the danger adapts to extreme freezing environments, resulting in these almost alien-like oddities. During a deep submarine dive in Antarctica, researchers at OceanX captured footage of what they actually call the Antarctic Death Star. It is a bizarre ocean creature equipped with 50 limbs, completely optimized to snatch and catch its prey in the darkest, most unforgiving waters on the planet.
And speaking of deep-sea oddities and many-limbed monsters, get a load of this staggering number, 62. That is the length in feet of the prehistoric kraken octopus. Fossil evidence suggests that back during the time of the dinosaurs, this 62-foot-long cephalopod was an apex predator of the ocean. To put that into perspective, it really shows us the massive, terrifying scale of ancient marine predators and just how long the evolutionary arms race of nature's arsenal has been going on.
Section 4. The Power of the Microscopic World.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is we're pivoting entirely. We're transitioning from giant 62-foot sea monsters down to the hidden foundational elements of life. While they aren't equipped with fangs, venom, or 50 limbs, microscopic plankton wield a staggering, almost terrifying power over our global survival. Captured under microscopes during OceanX missions, we learn that these tiny organisms are the real storytellers of the sea. They trace the health of entire ecosystems, they fuel the ocean food web, drive carbon cycling, absorb massive amounts of CO2, and ultimately stabilize the global climate. If this microscopic world fails, the giant predators, and yep, us humans, fail right along with it.
And to contrast that massive global impact of plankton, look at this surprising local scale fact. 50 gallons of water. That is exactly how much water a single oyster can filter in just one day. In places like New York Harbor, which used to be known as the Big Oyster, volunteers are actually working to introduce 1 billion oysters to restore the harbor's reefs. These tiny, unassuming creatures are basically nature's own water treatment plants, proving that not all of nature's power is used for destruction.
Section 5. Surviving the Wild Safely.
All right, so we've explored the deadly, the defensive, and the microscopic. Now, how do we safely interact with this incredible planet? The absolutely crucial point here is that our goal should always be coexistence, not eradication. Based on conservation data from the WWF and IUCN, we've got some practical steps for a nature-positive approach. First, we have to support ranger stewardship. Rangers are completely essential in helping communities and wildlife thrive together safely. Second, we must protect local habitats, giving these animals the space they need so they aren't forced into those defensive encounters with us. And third, we have to actively foster nature-positive coexistence, making sure that economic development doesn't come at the expense of these complex ecosystems.
Which leaves us with this final thought. We've explored the venomous fangs of spiders, agonizing insect stings, shock-absorbing mantis shrimp, and ancient sea monsters. Yet science tells us there are still millions of species completely undiscovered. Millions. So, with all those unmapped environments out there, what other deadly secrets, biological weapons, and vital ecological roles is the animal kingdom still hiding in the dark? Think about that for a second, and I'll see you in the next explainer.